having a positive mindset, staying positive, positivity in general, that has significantly improved my life. I used to have such a negative outlook on life. Everything was out to get me. The world was out to get me. Nothing ever went right for me. And I changed my mindset to a more positive mindset, and it has absolutely changed my life. What's up, dreamers? Welcome to Drive and Vibe. And today I want to talk about a positive mindset. The importance of a positive mindset, how it's changed my life. I know this is going to sound like one of those, I can already hear it. It kind of sounds like one of those cheesy videos, like this doesn't actually work type stuff. And years ago, I would have said the same thing. Like when I was in my bad mindset, when I was always in a bad mood, I would have looked at a video like this and I would have been like, that is not going to work. That would never work. Like that's just somebody saying a bunch of gibberish. But it is, I can tell you from experience, and I've seen it happen in other people, that it 100% is true. Positivity absolutely helps you out mentally, physically, in all aspects of life. It helps you with friends, family, your career. I mean, the list goes on. Positivity is very much a very beneficial outlook, a mindset. I'm going to give some examples. Years ago, and I used to play very competitive Counter-Strike, so I'm going to relate it to gaming as well. I used to play very competitive Counter-Strike. On a daily basis, at all times, my mood was terrible. Like everything was out to get me, nothing ever went right. The only thing that I had to look forward to was playing Counter-Strike. And then there was a lot of times in Counter-Strike where things in Counter-Strike wouldn't go right. And it's not because they weren't going right, it's because I thought they weren't going right. And my perception was kind of skewed. So everything that I was carrying, all the emotions I was carrying out of game was 100% being carried in the game. There's no way around this. You cannot separate your emotions. You can't like that during the day. I mean, you can't do it. That's not how the mind works, okay? So you carry these emotions into the game, and my relationship with friends and family, that was affected because I was so negative. Like I had friends and family who stopped talking to me. Not necessarily his family stopped talking to me, or they really limited their talking to me, but friends, they just straight up stopped talking to me. They even would tell me, like, I've been called an asshole before. I've been called, just a downer, not fun to hang out with, just not fun to be around. Like, I get it, right? I can see it now. And that's how it was. And then in game, my fuse was very short, and it would carry on into game, and it would negatively impact my game. And because I would get frustrated during my gaming, of course, my skill was going to suffer, right? My inconsistency would skyrocket, and it's just all around a recipe for disaster. Now I changed my mindset. That at some point it clicked, because I had another friend basically tell me like, we can't hang out anymore. And at that point I was like, maybe something is going on. And I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing. So I was like, there's got to be something better. And I was like, maybe it's not just me, or maybe it's not just everybody else. Maybe it's not everything else in the world. Maybe it's not everything else. Like, how could this be? Because I was looking at my other family members and I was like, it's not happening to them, right? Bad things, I would say, quote unquote, bad things happen to some people sometimes, but not as much as it does to me. So is it everybody else, or is it just me? And I started to really think about, like, what am I getting so aggravated about? What am I getting so upset about? Why am I in such a negative mindset? And also, I want to achieve some goals. Like there's always been goals. Like, why can't I? Right? Like, why wouldn't I be able to do that? Everybody else can achieve goals. Why wouldn't I be able to? There's no difference between me and everybody else, right? If I want to be able to do something, I can do it. Obviously with the reason, I'd have to put the time in. You understand what I'm saying, right? If other people can do things, why can't I do things? Like my own thing. So from there, I decided, and with a buddy too, I think going and starting a gym routine with a buddy definitely would help. Friend, family member, whoever it is. We started going to the gym. And you also hear this as well. This helped with my mindset as well. Was getting up and getting exercise that I wasn't getting before. And, adding in an activity that I started to really enjoy. But they used to tell me all the time, go to the gym, you're going to feel better. Or go start working out, get some exercise, get up, walk, run, whatever you want to do. You'll start feeling better, like emotionally, and that will help you feel better physically too. And I'm like, in the past, I would have said, that's just a bunch of BS. Like, there's no way. That doesn't, like, I've tried it before, it didn't work. and I only tried it for a couple days. Like, obviously it's not going to work. So you have to kind of push past that barrier, and it's very much true. Like, it got to the point where I really started feeling the benefits, both physically and mentally, and it's just like, I tell people all the time, it's like night and day. It really does work. It's not a cliche. People aren't just pulling that stuff out of their bums. It's like actually real. 100% helps. So that definitely helps my mindset too. And then I realized the more positive I am, this is what I realized too. And this is easier said than done. Obviously, you would need to have some practice. And it took me a long time to kind of switch. And I still have negative thoughts. Like, you can't just eliminate negativity as a whole. But I started thinking more positive more often, and things never have seemed as bad. Okay, there are bad things that happen. There are things that irritate me. There are things that upset me, and it's like sometimes I dwell on it for longer than I should, and it's not very long. But most times, there's always something positive. There's always and you hear this too. There's always a light within the darkness. It's always there. You can always find it. And again, years ago, I would have said that's BS too, but here I am. I mean, you put this into it. It's easier said than done. I'll say it again and again. Like, it can be achieved, positivity, and having more of a positive outlook than a negative one. But you have to want it. You have to work towards it. It's not going to be easy, or it's easier said than done. I'll say that forever. But it is not impossible to achieve. I'm not going to drag this up any further. If anybody has any tips of their own, let me know in the comments. I'd love to get this conversation started. Hit that like button, helps out the channel. Hit that subscribe button for more content like this. And I hope the sun goes away so you can see me. I hope to see everybody in this video. Later, dreamers.